quick round of introduction. I am Karan. I was GSoC 2016 student. I worked for PSF, an Italian mass society to be precise under it. And
I'm Rajat. I Googled Summer of Code 2015 under Robocomp organization, and last year I was the mentor. We have another guy, Tejas Dharamsi. He'll be joining us in like.
Tejas will be joining us soon.
Yeah, he'll be joining us soon. And he was also Google Summer of Code 2015, and last year no, he was not the mentor last year.
Yeah. So and I'll be mentoring this year for IMS again. So quick round of introductions done.
So I'll just tell you how this is going to go. So till 8:15, we'll just give you a quick brush up about what Google Summer of Code is and the timeline and everything. And after that, we'll answer all the questions that you had mailed us or answered in the form. You can also use the YouTube live chat. We'll answer those too.
Yeah, so we'll be keeping an eye on the ticker, and we'll be probably answering your questions as well. Awesome.
So we saw the slides.
So I think so it's 7:45. I think we are good to go. One sec.
Yeah,
Awesome. So I will be quickly reiterating about what Google Summer of Code is about. So simply speaking, Google Summer of Code is just a program to promote open source organizations, and students like you and me can take part and write code over the summer. And when you can be satisfied that you contributed to something which is actually making a difference in the world, and people can recontribute to it for free. And at the same time, you'll be getting paid for it. So yeah, I mean, it's a win-win situation for everyone around. Okay, so I'll be quickly going through the slides. Okay, so yeah, so what is open source? Okay, so this is something which I get to hear a lot. So open source is, like simply said, open source is a software program which other people can use, as well as see how it is written or what is the code of the code, right? So I mean, how things actually work behind the scenes. So for example, you have proprietary softwares which are written in languages and which are written in ways which you do not understand, right? And you just use the end product. But open source is something which you can use, and you can modify, and you can contribute back to the same if you are not satisfied with it. So this is all about open source. Okay, and so why open source should be promoted is because everybody who is unsatisfied with the product gets to have a say, and they can probably augment the product. Okay, it promotes collaboration. A collaboration between the community, like other people from around the planet can come together and work on different repos of the same project. Okay, or different branches. Okay, and there's this proper community of dedicated developers. Okay, so open source, if you're working on a big project, there are a lot of people who actually work on the same project, and then you can probably collaborate with them and learn a lot more about the project and augment it. So like brief definition of what GSoC is. Google Summer of Code is an online international program designed to encourage university student participation in open source software development. Okay, so I'll break it down for you. So Google Summer of Code is online. So easily said, it's work from home. Okay, you do not necessarily need to be somewhere. Okay, and it's an international program. So irrespective of the country where you are in, it has good relations with at least the United States of America. So you can be a part of GSoC, and it is designed to encourage university student participation. So to be a GSoC student, you need to be a university student, right? And to encourage participation in open source software development, right? Awesome. So a bit of details about GSoC. So students work for open source organizations and earn a stipend for successfully completing the project, which is after the project is completed, and then you are paid for the project. Okay, you are paid in between as well, and you are paid a like small amount for for getting accepted. Okay, so university students spend their time outside of school working in a field that can help them with their studies and career after the university. So this is where GSoC is important as well. So GSoC can be considered as a full-time internship, but I mean you need to be careful that it's not an internship with Google. But yeah, so Google Summer of Code is a full-time 3-month working program wherein you have to commit for at least 40 hours a week and take the project ahead. Okay, so and this will augment not only your knowledge but be a valuable addition to your profile once you get out of university. Right? So goals of the program. So a couple of goals. So Google Summer of Code helps organizations, the open source organizations, continue to identify and bring in new developers each year, because open source organizations then generally are not-for-profit organizations, and they do not have a budget fixed to hire developers. Okay, so by way of Google Summer of Code, Google gives back to the society and those organizations by allowing them to get in new developers each year, wherein you work for an organization and in turn you get paid by Google. Okay, and what is in it for students? They expose students to real world software development scenarios. You can learn the whole SDLC lifecycle, and then you can learn a lot of software engineering practices, and you actually get the satisfaction of contributing to something which is a full-time role. Okay, I mean full-fledged software development. Okay, and as an auxiliary bonus, it helps students build a strong network when applying for jobs. So yeah, once you are in a good community of developers, you get a good peer group, which ultimately helps you in terms of career and professional prospects later on in your life. Right? So how does GSoC work? So open source projects apply to be mentor organizations. So yes, so open source organizations have currently applied. Okay, so for the 2017 cycle, the organizations have already applied. Okay, and the results are out, about to be announced on 27th. Okay, Google then chooses the organizations to participate. So Google will then announce, that is on 27th of February, that what all organizations will be participating. And so basically it means that all the organizations Google is supporting for the 2017 cycle, and Google can, those organizations can hire interns and Google will in turn pay them. Okay, and the next cycle, which starts somewhere down the line, is students submit their project proposals to mentor organizations, and that is when the selection process officially starts. Okay, and then mentor organizations choose the students they like to accept, and that is when your results are declared around 4th of May. Students are then paired with a mentor. Okay, so whenever you are working, you will be working under a mentor who will help you guide through. And after that, after 4th of May, you have a 1-month bonding period with your mentor, and after that, around June, you start working. Okay, so that's how, and then they code their way through the next 12 weeks. Good enough. And the evaluations part. So I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody's waiting for it. The students must pass 3 evaluations, right? And students who pass each evaluation are paid a stipend for their work. So you have mid evaluations, and then after you pass each evaluation, you are paid for your work. Okay, and at the conclusion of GSoC, which is after the 12 weeks of coding period, students submit the code they have written for the projects, and everybody can see and use, and the code goes into production environment, right? So that ways. So yeah, very important part. I mean, I'm getting a lot of requests on text, like what is the eligibility, right? So yeah, let me clear that out for you. So students must be 18 upon registration. So sorry, all the school students, really sorry. So Google Summer of Code is not the program for you right now, but yeah, you have something known as Google Code which I'll not be going much into right now, but yeah, you can Google about Google Code. So this is a similar program for under 18 students, but Google Summer of Code is something for 18 plus. Okay, you need to be accepted or enrolled into a university program by the student acceptance date. So let me break this down for everyone. All this means is that on 4th of May, you need to be a student. Irrespective of if you are graduating on 5th of May, then also you are good to go to participate in Google Summer of Code 2017. 4th of May around the world is when the Google Summer of Code results are announced. And when the results are announced, you need to prove yourself to be a student on that day. You might pass out of college one day later on, doesn't matter. And if you're graduating one day before it, sorry, you're not eligible for GSoC 2017. And yeah, obviously you need to be eligible to work in the country in which you intend to participate. And yeah, previous GSoCers, you cannot have been selected more than once. So if you were a part in 2016, you can be part of 2017 as well, but not after that. All the students who were part in 15 and in 16, sorry, I mean, you cannot be part of Google Summer of Code again. These are a few statistics. So Google Summer of Code first started in 2004. And in the past 12 years, we have had a strong alumni committee of 12,000 students from across 104 countries. Okay, India leads with the highest number of selections, that is 2,262, closely followed by United States and then Germany. Okay, and all in 12 years, 30 million plus lines of code has been produced. So, I mean, which I feel is phenomenal. Right? So a couple of useful links for everyone. Okay, so you can go to the program site at g.co/gsoc. You can check the student manual and on this URL, and then you can check the Google's open source blog at opensource.googleblog.com. So I'll quickly announce the timelines as well. So the timeline right now looks at, so Feb 2017 is when you guys, the organizations will be announced, right? That is Monday. So coming Monday, in less than 100 hours from now, all the organizations which have been accepted into Google Summer of Code 2017 cycle will be announced. From March 20th to April of 3rd, that is 2 weeks, students should begin submitting their proposals. And May 1st is when the results are announced. Okay, so May 4th, which I said in error. Okay, so I stand corrected there. So May 4th is not the correct date. May 1st is the correct date. So you need to prove yourself to be a student on May 1st. Please note, not May 4th, May 1st. Okay. Then from May 1st to May 29th, the community bonding period begins. So 1 month you bond with your mentors. And after that, from May 30th to August 29. So this is the 12-week 12-week period where you code, and September 6th is when the successful student projects will be announced. So I think the timeline looks pretty clear enough for everyone. I mean, I'm leaving the slide for 2 seconds for everyone to just see through it. So yeah, make a note of it.
Okay, hi. So we'll now be answering. Tejas is still not here. Is he coming? Okay.
So we were expecting Tejas to be here, but let's move ahead. Okay, so I think we'll be taking up a few questions as well. So let's see. So Rajat has the question. So the first question.
Okay. So how to submit?
Like a brief announcement before we answer the question. So there are a few questions which we do not really feel are up to the mark to be discussed right here. Okay, so basically questions which are not in the scope of the discussion today. Okay, so we'll be just briefly taking up those questions in 5 minutes in between sometime. But yeah, if a question is not answered and if you feel it is genuine, please feel free to post it again right now.
Okay, so how to submit a project proposal to an open source organization? What are the do's and don'ts we should consider while submitting the proposal? And there are a lot of about project proposals, like what is the format? Yeah, so I think we'll just iterate. So disclaimer. So in Google Summer of Code, all the organizations like have their own format. Like some, if you go to their GitHub page, usually in their wikis, they'll have their own format. But you need to, for each organization, you need to, tailor made it for that organization, right? Say for some organization, they might look only how well you code, but some organization do see other aspects as well, right? So coming to the format, there's no format as such. You can usually write whatever you want. A strong GitHub profile is all that is, I think, is very much required. You want to add in something?
So yeah, so for the proposal part, all I would say is that you need to be pretty clear in what your end goal will be and how do you proceed to achieve the same end goal. Okay, so open source organizations generally give you a problem statement and they expect you to come up with some solution and have a timeline. So your project proposal should be such that your work is clearly divided amongst the with 12-week goal in mind. It shouldn't be that you're done with the project in 2 weeks, and that doesn't sound ideal, right? Because even the organizations announce their projects by having 12 weeks in mind. Okay, so it shouldn't be that just write a 2-week proposal, and it shouldn't be you write a next 1-year plan as well. So you should tailor your project proposal to only 12 weeks in mind. So that is what I would suggest.
And also, I just to add in, I'll just tell you like how I made my proposal, and also I think Karan also can share.
Definitely.
So so that you guys can understand or get a quick idea about like how to go about it. So what I had was first I just had a small introduction about all the just 3-line introduction about myself, everything that I'd worked on and everything. And next I had like regarding the commits or whatever PRs that I submitted to the repository of that organization previously that I had done. So some of you will be like, oh my God, I haven't really like looked into the organization code base, so I can't even, I haven't even submitted a PR or anything. It's fine. Even if the pull request is closed, if you have made an attempt, that will be, that is way better than at least not making any PR or something. Also, in every GitHub repository, you'll find something called as issues. Right? If you go to that issues, you can actually like, if you know something about the organization or whatever the code is doing, try answering those issues. I am sure you'll be able to answer like at least some of it. Even if you answer anything on Stack Overflow regarding that organization, if you just add links about what all you have done with respect to that organization, put it there. So when the org admin or the mentors see your proposal, they know you have already made an attempt to at least understand the code base. Right? That would really help. So next, what is the timeline? Now, timeline is very important because in India, I think like if you're some universities do not have like a 3-month holidays, and some do have. So that is fine. If you do not have a 3-month, please put it there. Right? Like you don't want to make false claims saying that you have just 1.5 months holiday and you have like exams in between, and you're going to say that you're going to deliver so much, and once you get accepted, and if you do not deliver, then if you get thrown away from the program, then it's really bad, right? So do mention that, but while mentioning that you have exams, tell them that how you're going to compensate for those weeks as well, right? So that is also very important. So what I did was, usually for the timeline, everyone just writes from this week to this week, you just do that. From this week, you do that. What I did was I did a flow chart, right? So it was like, so it's a 3-month program, right? So you don't know like how it's going to go like after 2 months. You say you're going to propose something, but after when you start working on it, like you'll find something, oh, you can do this better, or you can add some more functionalities to the same project, right? So what I did was I thought of all the additional functionalities that I can add. So I just wrote it down in a paper, and I made a neat flow chart. So what I did was like, say, start of the project, understand the code base, then like 3 other different pathways, like how I can go about. But there, like the main focus was on the project which the org had given in their ideas page. Like every organization that is applying will have a Google Summer of Code ideas page. It is mandatory. Look it up. You'll definitely find it. No spams, please. Right? Samcash, whatever. Right? So do look up the organization ideas page. Select an idea, whatever that is there, and I did a flowchart on the same thing, and after that, like whatever additional functionalities that I could add to this thing, so I just added everything. So it was not like I was telling them that I'm gonna deliver even all those additional functionalities, but I was telling them that, you know, like if time permits, I could add all that too, right? So your proposal should somewhat be like, you know, for 3 months you need to be sure what you're doing, and also should add in more functionality so that the mentor is like, oh, he knows really well like what is going to do, like, you know, that's really sort of it. And if you're targeting like Android specific this thing, or web development or something like that, you know, I think there are like applications.
There are organizations which specifically tailor to Android projects or web projects. So, I mean, that is something which you need to do your homework about, because there are a lot of organizations, 178 organizations as of 2016. Okay, and I believe a similar number in 2017 as well. But you need to be sure that, and at the same time, many organizations have different kinds of projects, right? So you can probably go to each organization, or you can narrow down the organizations by keywords. So Google provides a good keyword search. So if your keyword is Android, so it will probably sort the Android organizations first, and then you can have a list, have a look at the list of projects, and then proceed ahead. So, but I think I assume that is something which you need to do your homework about.
And also, if it is an application that you're developing at you know, at the end goal of your project, make sure to add in screenshots, right? Or all the developmental tools that you're going to use for the project. Say, for example, say if you're developing an Android application, make sure to add a screenshot of a UI. It's very simple. I think there's a lot of online tools that you can go about, like how you're going to do it. Please do it. It will really help, because you know, when as a mentor, if I see your application and I see you've already done screenshot and you have all the wireframe designs available, and you've also mentioned the all the development tools that you're going to use and how we're going to go about it, like I would be really happy, because you know, I really need not have to spend much time, you know, because you already know what you're going to do, right? So that would be very beneficial. And also, like do all the link all the GitHub projects that you have, because like since this is an open source program, I think that's very obvious. Like if you do not have any open source code that is available, I don't think it takes much time. Like this weekend or probably another 2 weekends, you can sit and you can say that you open source this. You know, that's very simple.
So one of the questions which is pretty, I mean, I want to clear up is that students do not propose the projects. Projects are proposed by the organizations, and that timeline is already over. Google has already probably selected the organizations. They will be announcing it on Monday, right? So all the students who are thinking that they will propose their projects, that is not true. Organizations have already done that, I believe, and Google will be announcing them on Monday. Okay, so which is less than 100 hours from now. Okay, and like somebody is asking if we can share our proposal. So my proposal is on my blog. Okay, I think you can have a go. You can have and take a look at it.
Yeah, no, all the proposals I think if you go to like any organization, they have like mock proposals. So yeah, you can do that too. Like seriously, the proposals, if you go to any organization, go to the GitHub page, wiki, and you'll definitely find like previous year GSoC proposals that is there.
Exactly.
Yeah, so you don't really have to like worry about like the proposal format and everything. Just make sure that it is tailor-made for that particular organization, right? If you're gonna say that for an organization, if you're gonna like talk irrelevant stuff, then it's not going to help. Like I'm from Robocomp organization, and I'm gonna just see like what stuff you have done in robotics or things like that, right? So yeah, if you say like anything irrelevant other than that, like it doesn't help. So that's how you do.
Exactly. So I just got one more question that, so the project list for 2017. Okay, so Pratik asked like, where do we find the list of the organizations? And I am unable to find for 2017. The list is not yet out. The list is going to be out in less than 100 hours from now. On 27th, Monday, that is, the list will be out on Monday for the participating organizations. So I think I have made that pretty clear now.
Karan, I think we'll finish off the docs question first, and then we'll take the live chat questions.
Sure.
So we just finished the previously we had circulated a Google form for all of you to fill in your questions. So we'll just answer all those questions first, and then we are happy to answer all your live chat questions. All right.
Yep.
Fair enough. So yeah, next, what will be more beneficial for my profile? Contributing to others' projects or doing my own open source projects?
Good question. Yeah, so good question, but I think the scale we are talking of is different. So this is not only others projects, this is about a big project. Okay, it is seldom possible that you can make a project as big as an open source organization in itself. So I don't think so the scales really match each other. So doing others project is different, taking part in GSoC is different, because GSoC you are taking part in a bigger project, and that is a project where like if not millions, then at least thousands of people use. And your project, I wish you all the best, but it's unlikely that the project will be successful in short span of time. So I think the question does not compare. It's basically comparing of oranges and apples. So
yeah, just one thing to add. So basically, when I said that, just target one organization, okay? Like I've seen people who just target like multiple organizations and you go nowhere. Like so, have one organization in mind from the beginning. Just like if you're following a particular organization on GitHub or GitLab or whatever is the open source Bitbucket or whatever is the platform, you will get to know the people who will be your mentors like easily. If every day there'll be a commit usually, so you will definitely know that. So follow one organization and just propose have a proposal GSoC proposal for just one organization. Okay.
So
Yeah.
and GSoC is not a team competition. Okay, it's not a competition, but GSoC is not a team event. Okay, everybody takes part and works for their own. So you can only take part single-handedly. So no teams allowed. Yeah.
Yeah. Next question. I have submitted a couple of PRs. PRs is pull request for those of you who do not know. On my chosen organization, but there were very limited slots last year. I believe I have very well shown them the required skills, but I don't.
But I don't want
to hamper my chances because of less slots. So should I switch organization or keep working? Keep working.
Keep working.
Yeah. So why keep working? Because like if you've already submitted PRs before and it has been closed or not merged for some reason, but if you are able to mention that in your proposal that you had previously submitted, and you yourself are able to figure out why it was not merged or anything, and if you're able to put that, they know that you submitted a wrong PR and you have corrected your mistakes. Now that is a very good proposal. Like, I'd be like really impressed.
Yeah,
I guess you too.
Exactly. So you did not go to the new organization because again you'll be starting from scratch, and since you have a good solid understanding of the code base of the organization which you're working on right now, I think go ahead with it.
Yeah. Proposal format, I think, yeah. Please give the how to start part more time, because this is the basic and most common doubt in all the newbies. Tell about some repositories on which a newbie can work to get started in the field of open source on an easy level. Okay,
so I think this is mostly tailored for students who will be applying for GSoC next year. Good enough. So there's nothing known as a newbie in this area. I would personally believe, because it's continuous learning, right? And if you want to start, you can probably check out some bugs on Mozilla, I think, and otherwise you can check. You can go to GitHub repositories of projects from previous organizations, and if you go to issues tab, you can find some easy labeled issues and go ahead with it. I think, Rajat.
Yeah, so I think there's nothing called as newbie or anything. Even if you're like, so the thing is like programming. If you know programming, that's it. Like there's nothing called as like I know like very good programming. I know like low level programming. There's nothing like that. Like it's if you know like any language for that matter. I think. Google Summer of Code like has a varied range of problem statements that you can tackle in any of the language that you are efficient in. So the thing is like just know that Google Summer of Code, you don't need to be like how do I say, very.
I mean, you not be an excellent programmer, because you learn by Google Summer of Code. Okay. That said, it's not that you do not have any technical knowledge as well.
Yeah.
But once you should have average technical knowledge. GitHub is something which you should really start if you're looking to start augmenting your technical knowledge. Learn GitHub, learn Git, okay, revision control in general, okay, and then I think once you have basic structs clear, you can probably be a good fit for GSoC.
Okay, so I'll just give you a quick just to so I see a lot of in the YouTube live chat, like people are telling I'm just a beginner, and most of the questions here also are telling that I'm just a beginner. Will I be able to crack Google Summer of Code? Is it something that I could do? Something like that. So just there are around like 8,000 to 10,000 applications I think for GSoC every year on an average. So if you say there are around like 150-ish organizations. So 150 organizations will have like each organization will have around like 5-ish average projects. So for each organization, like 15 into 5, that's 750. So there'll be around like I think 1,000-ish average students every year.
Exactly. I mean, from the last few years, we have been seeing around 1,200. So yeah, 1,000 is a good guess.
1,000 like is an average number of applicants that will be selected for Google Summer of Code. All right, that's the average, right? So if you say around 10,000 applications, you're just competing 1:10. The ratio is 1:10, right? So you just have to be like better than the 9%. Now, if you take organization as such, then like say for a particular organization or for the particular idea that you're proposing for, that number will usually come down to 1:6, 1:7. That's it. And if you follow the organization beforehand, at least from now, like you'll have a clear idea about like what are the people you will be competing with, because even they'll be doing the same thing. Even they'll be like trying to fix bugs. They'll be trying to correct all issues and everything. So you very well know who you will be competing with beforehand if you're very active in your organization, right? So while writing the application, so you just have to make sure that you're better off than them. That's it. So yeah, so you don't need to be, there's nothing called as I'm just beginning to code or anything. You just need to be, know a language like very well and choose a project very wisely, because you need to know your strengths and if your project is like a good fit for that. So fair enough, right? So
yeah, moving on.
Yeah, doc questions. Sorry, Praveen. Yeah. I've been working with an org for the past 3 months and I've made around 30 PRs, and about 15 of them are must. So how likely is it someone coming afresh now with a better application? Oh, you're gonna get it. I'm not gonna say you're gonna get it like that, but if you have 15 PRs merged,
exactly.
Yeah, and
I mean, even after, I mean that is, some people do not.
Yeah. So if you have 15 PRs merged, just make sure that in the proposal you mention that, and also say in the PRs you'll like some of the mentors would have already like commented that, right? So I think that is like, what is this? Yeah, okay. So definitely they would have commented that. So you can also say that you have previously chatted, had a conversation with all these mentors or probable they might be even org admins, you never know, right? So they've already reviewed my code. So this is how good my code will be, something like that, right? So you're good to go.
Yeah, I mean, next. Even after the completing GSoC, a few people do not have these many commits. So good work, dude.
Yeah. What are the essential fields that I must master?
That depends upon the org, and I mean, if you are looking for a robot or robotics related, so you might have a relevant experience, or if you're looking for math or machine learning related, you have.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's already 8:15.
Awesome.
Okay, so I haven't done any open source contribution as such till now. Still, can I try for GSoC 2017? If yes, then how do you go about it? So I think like you can start if you just know your strengths, and I think you're good to go, right? What type of coding questions will be available? What are the areas other than web development and or development we can apply for GSoC? Oh, there are many.
Many areas.
Like for example, I think from last year, like I've seen like most of the research laboratories also like getting into GSoC, like all the open source. So if you're into research, then yeah, you can get machine learning. There was one in speech processing also. Exactly. Image processing, computer vision. There are a lot. I think that won't be a problem at all.
Exactly.
Yeah, this. I think this question also answers like I'm not from CS background. Will I be able to crack it? Like you're definitely able to crack it.
Exactly. In fact, I mean Rajat is.
Yeah, I'm from electronics background, so yeah. As a BTech fresher who has a bit of experience in coding, how can I develop my skill set so as to perform well in such events? I think. Yes, that's questions I don't know how to answer.
I mean, as a fresher, I would say that you just need to I mean, as Bill Gates said, right, you probably need to know multiplication tables well. But I mean, not taking it literally, probably you should just learn Git revision control and just have a basic understanding of data structures and a few other things. I think you should be good to go after that.
Yeah. How to apply for GSoC if we know about web development? Like go to GSoC page. When the organization lists are announced, go there and see web development. What are the tags, and you'll be able to find it.
Yep.
I'm a non-CSE student. Done. How to practice for GSoC if we have never contributed before? I think we there's nothing called as practice. Like I said, contact just.
It's a learning process. So once you get into this thing, so you will.
Yeah. Okay. So should we aim for more than one organization or for a particular organization? Particular organization. One is better than. Don't have like two organizations.
Yeah. Do not have multiple organizations because that will divide your attention. So it's better to put 100% in one organization and not a lot of organizations. Yeah.
So if an employee is currently working in an organization and is dreaming to get placed at Google.
No, sorry, no Google questions right now.
How to apply? No. What type of? How do you start contributing to a project?
Good question. So
mailing lists.
Exactly.
I think someone actually wrote that.
Yeah. So how do you? So I just summarize it for everyone who have just joined. So how do you start contributing? Is you just select your project, you go to the GitHub page or the mailing list page, and there they'll have details about what to do and how to do. Okay, so they will probably have a GitHub page and GitHub branch dedicated to the same, and they'll have the respective details there itself.
Yeah. Okay. So how do you? Okay. How do I select organization and start contributing in advance? Selecting organization in such a way that my chances of getting selected is increased. Proficient in Python. All right. So to answer this, like if you target big organizations like Python Software Foundation is he is from Python Software Foundation. So if you target big organizations, then there are probably a lot of people who will be aiming for that also. So yeah, your ratio is increased, like I explained before. If you target for smaller organization, then probably your ratio you'll have a better chance, right? So because not many people know about the organization, and not many people also you won't be competing with much people there. And if you're very good in that organization, then you're the go-to person for them, right? So how do I select an organization? You know your strengths, which language you're proficient in, and you know what all you have worked on before. Like say I had a previous experience in robotics, so I just selected all organization that was in robotics. So that's how I choose my organization. So if you worked in image processing or say Android app or something, go to Google Summer of Code page. There'll be a list of all our organizations. Select the organization which has a Android application or web development as in their ideas page, and you're good to go. Yeah. So my question is regarding proposal. Can you help me writing? Yeah, I think we answered about the proposal. Introduction, how to prepare. Yeah. Are we? Math, logic, or is it real world or course related? Okay. Do I have a chance of becoming successful? Okay. What is the qualification we need in order to? Okay. What is the qualification we need in order to clear the program in terms of coding ability? General answers are welcome. Those will be. Yeah, the qualification basically the mentor has to approve your code, right? So you can. I think that's it. I think everything else is in the GSoC web page.
If you're talking of eligibility, I think that's written in black and white. And qualification, you need to be just like you should know the code base and what you're actually working on.
Yeah. What is the basic? No. What future opportunity? Okay. What kind of applicants should have tested before being selected as a candidate? Okay. How does one conversation skills acquired as student learning code? Okay. Is it required that one should have contributed to? Is it required that one should have contributed the project before applying for the same? Not required. If your proposal, if you have done previous. I mean, it depends basically on the organization.
Yeah. So if you have, if you know a lot about the organization, and if you can prove it in your proposal that you have done stuff. Okay, so like welcoming Tejas. So yeah, so Tejas, we are on air.
And what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tejas is hi guys. So Tejas is as we said GSoC 2000 14 alumni we have, and yeah. So Tejas will just.
Yeah. Okay. How will you define? Okay, how to start preparing for GSoC? I think we answered that.
Yeah.
Hello. Okay. How to balance the project work and studies? How much time effort should be allocated per day? I think.
So GSoC requires 40 hours a week commitment. Okay, though it's not a hard and fast commitment, but you need to adhere to it more or less, because that is how the projects are generally planned and what the organizations demand this work to her, like, for you to be successful. Yeah.
Okay. So
I think the next question is of Tejas's interest. So I am interested in ML and data analytics, some cool orgs for these. So I think Tejas will go about with that.
I guess the best way to search is the search bar there with the tags. You can go for, like, recently I haven't seen the new orgs in last year's orgs. But yeah, I guess the tags would be the best way to search. Like, you can search for statistics, machine learning, and natural language processing. But in data analysis, I don't think so there are many orgs. But yeah, definitely in machine learning, you would find one or two for sure. And I guess MIT Media Labs, they were working on Android, but I'm not sure if this year they might just come with something in that field.
Yeah. So that said, I mean, if you are going for machine learning kind of an organization, make sure you are really, really good at it, because you are essentially competing with a lot of university and PhD level students. So things might turn difficult there.
Yeah. So do I stand a chance this year if I start contributing today? Yes. I'm interested in. Okay. Can you? Okay, one sec. Can I work in a team of 2 or 3 on a project?
No.
But yeah, maybe depends on the org as well, if they want you to.
That option is there?
No, not an option. Like, if they want to, like, for my project, we were 2 people working on the same project. So if the mentor decides to allot 2 students to the same project, that is fine. But it's totally up to the mentor's discretion whether he wants 2 students or 1 student.
As an applicant, one needs to apply individually.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Should I choose and focus on famous organization or not so famous?
I think Rajat answered that. The ratio remains the same. Famous organizations have more applicants and more number of slots.
Yeah.
So essentially, the ratio is the same.
Yeah. So when you go for famous organizations, they have more number of slots. So yeah, as Karan said, even if for small organization, also same number of slots. So essentially, you'll be competing with the same people. But depends on the project. Like I said, follow your organization or the project that you will be your potential project. So you'll have a clear idea about, like, how many students are actually contributing to the same project or asking about the same project or solving issues.
Exactly.
And bugs.
Do not just take up things just because things look good or something is famous. Okay.
Yeah.
Because in the long run, you won't be able to sustain it. So I mean, look for something.
Yeah. So I guess so we'll be taking questions from the YouTube live chat. Do I need to practice coding in platforms like CodeChef, HackerRank to qualify? Can an average coder qualify?
No. So that is not really true. These platforms help you develop your computer science skills, but that has got nothing to do with GSoC directly. But yeah, that said, you will probably have a better understanding of data structures and algorithms if you take part in these on these sites.
Yeah, so I think we'll be taking questions from the YouTube live chat now. So yeah, I think sorry we didn't look at all the questions like here.
So we'll just quickly scroll through. Just in case your question hasn't been answered, please feel free to ping it again.
Yeah, just ping again. I think that is.
Yeah, just start pinging again. So I think Adam, we'll quickly answer Adam's question. Do I need to know Git or GitHub also? Yes, Git or any revision control system is really necessary for you to understand basics of Google Summer of Code, because it all works in a distributed environment. So yeah, you need to know revision control. So
one sec. Okay, so last year I failed in midterm evaluations. I explained the project well, but was able to implement it properly. Should I say this time that I failed last year? I mean, yeah, if you have realized your mistake, and even if the mentors know that you have corrected yourself, then yeah, sure. Why not? Yeah, average how many contributions in terms of PR merge or bugs and issues we have to make to get selected in an organization.
So
Totally depends on your mentor,
Yeah.
like
So
what he expects from you, and if you meet his or her requirement, that should be fine.
yeah. So can you speakers give your details, GitHub username? Yeah, my GitHub user name is Rajat Kumar MP. Yours is
my GitHub username is Karan Saxena.
Karan Saxena.
Dharamsi Tejas.
Yeah, his is Dharam C Tejas. Right. And do we need to make an open source project before participating in GSoC? I mean, this is Google Summer of Code, right? Yeah. I think that, yeah. So as you mentioned that focusing on single organization is good. I want to know, have you selected a single organization or applied to multiple organizations or single organization?
Single organization.
Single.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the reason being, when you submit your formal applications, everybody can see the number of organizations you have applied to. So it's in your best interest to apply to only one, so that at least you are able to convince the mentors that you are dedicated enough to a project. Because if you are applying to 4, we can see that you have applied to 4, and that reduces the chances of selection. That does not make your chances of selection as 0, but yeah, considerably reduces, because if I have someone who is dedicated to my org, and if I have someone who is probably taking risks by replying to, like, by applying to 2-3 organizations, I'll be inclined to take the former one.
Yeah, I am much in competitive programming, but I don't have any knowledge of web development, app development. How should I go about it? I think, yeah. How should I go about it? As in,
So
okay, so he means that he's into competitive programming
you
and he hasn't done any app development or web development. I think that's what you meant. So to answer that question, I think, yeah. So you just see the ideas page. So if you know a programming language, whatever language that you know very well, try to understand the project and just analyze whether you'll be able to solve that project with the language of your choice. Like if not, like choose another project. I think that's it. App development, web development. Is expertise in machine learning necessary? Yes, if you're applying for an organization that has a machine learning project. Right. What's the best way to start open source development? From where do I start?
Start solving easy bugs on GitHub, go to
Yeah.
some project repos. I think Tejas can elaborate.
Yeah. What was the question? I just missed
How
that.
do you start contributing to open source?
Yeah. So first thing is like, first define your aim, whether your aim is Google Summer of Code or you want to apply in general. If you're applying in general, then like you just want to have say experience of contributing to open source, then there are multiple like organizations, like say for women is this ROR summer, like for Ruby or Rails does an RR's I forgot the exact name, but it's like a Rails Summer of Code, something like Rails Women Who Code or something like that, where you can for
the Girls Summer of Code.
yeah. So people can contribute, take part in such initiatives, or KD does their own initiatives. So if you want to be part of such initiatives and get an experience, you can be part of such active initiatives and take part. Else you can just look for, just search open source projects in Google and like search on web, and you might get a list of projects or interesting links to GitHub projects which need active contributions, like say in Python, or say there are, or any other organization. They might just not be running over summer, but over the entire period of year. So if you want to do that, then you can just contact, and people in open source are more than happy to help you get started. But if you're focusing only on Summer of Code, then I guess January is a good period to start, January, Feb, and it's a good period till the application ends. You can continue contributing to a specific project of your liking. The first thing would be to decide a project of your choice from the list. So make sure, if you're focusing on Summer of Code, then make sure you look at last 2 years project list and which organizations show up every year, and based on that make an assumption, like it's an estimate or assumption that they would enroll again this year. You need to observe the activities on their mailing list or the project page, and then decide a project, and make sure you learn the nitty-gritties of the project for you to contribute back to them. and make an honest attempt at contributing. I guess that should be fine.
Yeah. So interested because of I think we missed one. Yeah, I'm an Android developer, but I haven't contributed in any organizations, but I've developed app for company and individuals. So what should I do to select? Definitely in GSoC. Well, if you've already an Android app published in Play Store, yeah, I think if the mentors like it and if it is of the same project, on the same lines of the project that you are proposing to, then you have a very good chance of it. Yeah, I think that's so. Can you tell what kind of things needed to discuss in IRC channels? Oh yeah, please don't start while actually starting a chat with your mentor. Please don't start with say, hey, I'm applying for GSoC 2017 or something like that. You know, like, because everybody does the same thing, right? Start with something like, hey, I'm finding it difficult to start, you know, with this PR or with this issue or something. So then start your discussion from there. That's when a mentor or a probable who is contributing to the organization will reply to your mails, right? Even in the IRC chats or something, just don't say that, you know, like, hey, I want to start contributing or something like that, because it's very obvious how you're going to go about it. Interested because of a music organization will start from now will work, because people around say you need to contribute from long time, else you won't get it. Thanks.
So, I mean, breaking that myth, it's not about how long you contribute, it's about the level of your contribution. Okay, and that level of contribution indirectly translates to the quality of a proposal. Okay, so if you have a good quality proposal, even if you haven't contributed to an organization for very long, I think I'll be more inclined to take that student who has put in dedicated work into a proposal and clearly defined his goals in a weekly or a bi-weekly basis, than someone who has a very long history of interaction with the organization but having not having contributed significantly. So yeah.
Yeah. So next is sorry, but could you post links to GitHub profiles? Don't know those spelling, so.
I think yeah, sure. We'll go ahead. I'll post our names. So I think that should be enough. Yeah, it is RAJATH. THARAM. Cool. So
Yeah.
we posted the 3 names. Just github.com/ and go ahead.
Yeah, I have only 3 PRs on GitHub. I don't know what orgs are participating. So how do I make a new PR such that I can add them to my proposal?
So you can take a look at the previous year organization. So that is a good thing to aim for right now. And the previous year organizations will be out on Monday. Okay, the current 2017 will be out on Monday. So you'll have a better understanding then. But yeah, till then, for the next 100 hours, take a look at the previous year organizations.
Yeah, generally, what percentage of applications related to Android development are accepted first round? Not really sure.
Not really sure.
Yeah. So, and what else? Generally, okay. Can you? Okay, that's done. They already said. Okay. Can I apply for 2 projects for same organization? Can I apply for 2 organizations? Well, I guess, like I said, have a flowchart method. That's what I did. So just like make your timeline so that you're going to complete one project. All right. If you say that you're going to do like multiple projects all by yourself, you're lying, right? The mentor it's very obvious, because while they are giving the GSoC ideas in the ideas page, they know this project is for 3 months and this is going to take your 3 months. So if you're going to say that you're going to do 2 projects, and then they know that you're lying, so you won't be able to do it, right? So like I said, like as and when you go, like what you're going to propose, you don't really have to stick to it, because at the end of 2 months or something, you will definitely know that you'll add additional functionalities to it. And yeah, so I think, yeah, so tailor make your proposal for one project and say you can add but mention additional functionalities to it, so that they know that you have understood the project well. Yeah. Okay, then can we ask doubts in can we ask doubts in IRC channel? Yes, please do. And then can I contribute on someone else's behalf to help him fetching GSoC? Is it possible?
I mean, you are basically asking if plagiarism is possible. I don't think so. I don't encourage that personally.
Average, how many contributions in terms of PR merge or bugs we have to make get selected? There's nothing of that sort. It's
okay, I think
we'll
ask Tejas about it. I mean, on an average, how many contributions or PR merges do we need in order to get selected?
I have like, it's too random question. I feel like it totally depends. As I said, like there are some times where you have lots and lots of contribution initially and then very slack afterwards. It totally depends on how you meet the expectation of your mentor or the organization in general or the group you're contributing to. As long as you meet the expectation, this should be fine. I guess like totally depends on whom you're contributing, like which organization you're contributing to and what's their benchmark.
Exactly. So, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. And so is mentor decided by an organization, or do we talk on IRC for a mentor?
Yeah. So to answer this question, so basically, usually the mentors are like most of the times it's the previous GSoCers itself. Like like not like like majority of the times. Like, so what happens is after you complete your GSoC, like since like by the end of GSoC, I'm sure like in and out of the code base of the project that organization that you'll be working for. So after that, you don't really want to start working on a different organization because you already know the code base. So you most of the times you just continue contributing irrespective whether you're going to get paid or not. So you end up becoming a mentor because you'll be the best fit as a mentor like for next year, because you already know the code base and you'll be in a position to actually propose a new project idea or a functionality to this thing, right? So that is how a mentor is chosen. So can we ask doubts for a mentor in IRC channel? Yes, definitely, please do. But don't ask like, hey, I want to get selected for Google Summer of Code 2017, because like everyone is going to do the same. There's I think mentors are already tired of
hitting that question.
That question.
Plus
Exactly.
You do not have any leverage to get an answer, right? I mean, why should someone answer you?
So an ideal question is like start with a bug, an issue, or any issue that is there on their code base. Like say you're trying to contribute, but you're not really getting it, like you're not really understanding like how to go about it, but you have tried this and this, but it is not working, right? That is an ideal mail to start with, or ideal doubt to ask, right? So that will definitely, I guarantee you, they'll definitely answer it. So also in most of the organization, you'll have like these tags, and if you go to GitHub, you'll have these tags, right? Some issues are usually left out like for GSoCers itself, like enhancement or doc or something like that. Starter issues or something like that. Yeah.
So what is IRC? Simply put, IRC is Internet Relay Chat.
Google it.
You can probably Google more about it. Okay. Talking about web development, right now only skill I have is copy pasting APIs and making web pages look pleasing. Should I make some of my own, or what should I do in terms of web development? I don't think so that really adheres to the topic which you are talking of right now. I think we'll pass it. On a scale of 10, how efficient we should be in programming to be a part of GSoC project?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, I think anything is fine as long as you can.
You can in the proposal, if you are able to prove yourself that you're gonna able to code it, and you have a proper timeline set, and you're gonna say that this and this is what I'm going to do, and if the mentor likes it, then you're in. That's it. So don't have this false this thing that you really need to be 10 on 10 to crack GSoC. Like it's all a learning phase. So exactly. Yeah, but like I said, they're gonna see your profiles or projects that you've done previously. Like if you are like 1 out of 10 and you're gonna just fake it, then yeah, you're gonna get kicked out of the program. So
don't fake stuff, but if you do not know something, be proactive about it and learn. Like try to learn. Okay, so you should aim to convince your mentor that you will be able to learn this thing. And again, do not just say that you will be able to learn something. Augment your answers with metrics that you will take a weekend to learn this thing, and after weekend make sure to get back and give them an update that you have done it. And this is good both for your personal learning and for the chances of your selection. So that is
okay. If I'm an average developer with not much open source contribution, but still I wish to be a part of this, there are any chances that I get selected? Yes, definitely. Yes. I think we answered this. how they decide if the same project is working 2 people and they both have solid contributions till this thing?
This is
Organization specific.
yeah. Wait.
Yeah, this is completely dependent on the organization that you're going to apply to. If they approve, then yeah. If they don't, then no.
So if they have an extra slot, they might take in both the
Yeah.
both of the people. But yeah, organization specific.
In which year of your undergrad you had applied for GSoC? Me, 3rd year.
Same year. Yeah, I also did in 3rd year.
Tejas?
Mine was 2nd year.
Yeah, he's Tejas Dhamsi.
Yeah. So
yeah, 2nd year.
So he did that in 2nd year.
Say I contribute to project A in any organization, but from that organization only project B gets selected. Now to clear GSoC, I again need to contribute from start to project B, and my previous commits worthless. No.
So I think there's a doubt here. Projects are not selected, organizations are selected. So an organization is selected, and if like once the organization is selected, it doesn't matter if the organization is sending a project A or project B. That doesn't matter.
Okay, I have 3 PRs on GitHub. I don't know what orgs are participating. So how do I make new PRs so such that no. So
this was repeated.
Got the so it's basically like
PR is different from a commit.
Yeah. So the pull request that I'm talking about is specific to the organization. Okay. So if you're like tackling a particular organization, you need to I'm saying like have pull request for that organization, not any other repositories. Any other repositories, it's good if it is a well-known, it is well starred on GitHub or something like that. Otherwise, yeah.
How to get down with a good proposal? I think we have answered that initially. I mean, the first answer was at length.
So what is PR? Can you tell, please? Pull request.
So okay, I'll try to explain you in like in brief. Okay, so let's say I am working on something. I am the project mentor. Okay, and I have my own project, and you want to contribute to it. So what you do is you make a copy of my project, you make changes, and then you tell me that these are the changes you have made, and if they are good, I will accept it. So the process of telling me that you have made a change is what is known as a PR.
Pull request. So some terminologies here. When I copy his project to my account, it is called as fork, fork. I'm forking his project into my account, and then I make the changes. Those are the like comments that I do, and then I submit it back to him. That is a pull request.
Yeah. So when he tells me that he has made some changes to my project, so that is when it's known as a pull request.
Yeah, and it's up to it's the decision is upon the mentor whether he will merge the pull request or will he close it or whatever.
Yeah.
So can someone who is in the final year of college apply for GSoC? Yes.
As long as you're a student on 1st of May.
Yeah, best source to learn GitHub. Google it.
Just Google it.
How did you plan to write a good proposal when you applied? Any resources?
So I can say for my case, PSF gives you a good format. You can just Google PSF GSoC format, and they give you a pretty good format to get started with.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess we'll. Any other questions? I think we have ran out of questions. Yeah, can I apply if I'm in 3rd year? Yes, definitely yes. So that's it. We'll wrap it up.
So I think we have a couple of minutes more, 20 minutes.
Yeah, this is for Tejas. How many months before applying for GSoC did you start contributing to open source, and did you contribute to the same project from the beginning for which you applied in GSoC? Tejas.
So initially, I when I started, it was like I guess December end or January starting, like pretty much January. I think January I started contributing. Like I started talking to this mentor over like I went through the documentation of the project that I was supposed to contribute to. Saw like email ID, mailed the mentor and asked him how can start. He gave me some things to he gave me some tasks to proceed with. I did that. In between, I did talk to other organizations, but yeah, it was they were university kind of organization, so didn't contribute much. But yeah, this I guess it was I started in January.
Yeah. Okay. So I have 3-4 open source projects. 2 of them are live, but I have only one contribution on one project of FOSS Asia. What chance of getting accepted? What if I start contributing them? We have, yeah.
I think you have a good profile, but I don't really understand like the terminology of your question. But I think you stand a good chance once you figure out what project exactly you want to contribute to. You can go ahead with it.
Okay, what are some best AI organizations?
So I mean, like someone has asked, what are the best AI organizations? So just a quick warning here, rather, because I mean, do not just go into AI, ML, and data science organizations just because these are the hot burning words right now. Make sure you have done your homework before applying to these organizations, because as I said previously, you will be competing with good level students. Most of them will be PhD students. So not one of the first steps you should take. So like only the AI organization should not be a first step until and unless you are really sure of what you're doing.
Yeah. So
next is like, what's your advice for someone who is not much good at programming but still wanted to crack a Google job? I think that's out of context.
I was already part of organization in GCI. Oh, I'm already familiar with the organization as well as the projects and progress. I've created a proposal based on the existing project. Good luck with your proposal.
Which improves the existing one a lot. What chances do I have? I think
guess he's in the best position to like get a summer of code as well, because he knows in and out about the project. And I guess if he should have a clear picture about if the project is moving ahead for summer of code or not. He has to make an estimation regarding like about the project, its future scope, and whether the organization would be moving ahead. If they are moving ahead, then go ahead and continue and talk to your mentor, and it would be pretty much based on your performance in GCI.
So I think the next one is for me. Let me know again what is the resource you told for proposal format. So just Google Python Software Foundation, Google Summer of Code format. So that should give you the format link.
Yeah. So I think we'll wrap it up now. Any last questions?
I think any last questions? I will like any new questions.
Is it too late to dive into the code base of my preferred organization? No. We can start.
No, I think it's good enough. Officially, the organizations will be announced on Monday. So if you even start looking up for the organizations on Monday, and if you do it diligently and religiously, I think you should be good to go. What are the prerequisite topics we should be perfect with if we are in first year of applying for GSoC, DSCA programming? I think there are no prerequisite topics, and even if they are dependent upon the organization. So, I mean, you go ahead and look for it. I mean, this one is so Tejas. What exactly was your project? So I think you can just give a brief outline.
Yeah, it was an old, like a couple of year old project. I was contributing to the project under Freenet org. Freenet didn't participate last 2 years. It was more about the project was building an anonymous social network like Twitter. Yeah, and it had like it was basically a Twitter kind of interface for anonymous social chat.
Yeah. So how should we proceed for the orgs that do not have any contribution criteria but other proposal? I'm talking about the orgs like Portland State University. I'm not sure if Portland State University is an org. I think.
Yeah, even I'm not sure. But
no, they were an org. They are an org.
Oh, okay. So if they
were an org, I'm not sure if they. I have seen this name as an org, but I'm not sure if they are currently active or not. And I guess they have research kind of projects, research-based project where you align with the whichever labs that are existing.
Yeah, like I said, like a lot of research labs are also getting into GSoC. So for these such organization, what I suggest is you need to have I think they look for like a previous background in that, right? If they do not have any contribution criteria on anything, if your project, if you've done something similar on lines of the same project previously, that will matter a lot. Open source that project, or you can start working on similar lines on the same project beforehand, and open source that project and put a link to that and say that, hey, previously I worked on this project, and so this project is like very similar to what I've done before, and this is what I'm going to do, and that is it. You're in. So that is very easy.
So how many times can I apply for GSoC? I think you can apply as long as you're a student, but you can only be selected for GSoC twice. That's it.
Thrice.
I want to build my GitHub profile strong. So how can I find small organizations for Android?
I think GitHub gives you a good search for
Yeah. Yeah, now GitHub has introduced tags also, so you can search via tags also. Search Android and you're good to go.
So
Yeah.
So I think we are almost. I mean, we're gonna wrap it up. So any last minute questions, anyone?
A lot of people are. Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. I think
we'll wrap it up. This is Rajat Kumar MP.
Yeah. This is Karan Saxena, and
this is Tejas.
Yeah. So I mean, we thank Tejas. Tejas joined us from New York, and right now he just got up. So I mean, thanks a lot.
Yeah. So I hope you all get selected. At least try. If not this year, probably next year. So yeah, all the very best for your Google Summer of Code.
Yeah, same here. I think we'll open the video will be available offline as well, and you can probably post comments there if you like. I mean, if we have time, we'll probably check it out. But we no guarantees there.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Best of luck, folks.
Yeah.
So yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.